Hey gang, it's Erin Postal here, and I am super excited to be on here with you today. I'm interviewing an amazing woman, a dear friend, and someone who's gone through a life-changing transformation. And I'm so thrilled to introduce you to her. And her name is Jessica. And not only is Jessica just a breath of fresh air, she's so authentic, she's so real, she tells it like it is, but she's a serious badass woman in many aspects. So I'm excited for you to hear her story. Jessica, tell us a little bit about your background, how old you are, where you're from, just a little bit about your history and your past.
I am 43 years old. I am a mother of two and a wife. By trade, my husband and I owned a trucking company for about 20 years. So I'm a truck driver. I've been a mechanic, worked as a lead mechanic at a school department, and a farmer as well. So a little bit of everything. And, further on down the line, I did go back to school for nutrition, which makes a lot of sense when you mix it all in with a truck driver, you know, and welder, and a little bit of everything. So
Oh, I love that. And tell us a little bit about your life, Jessica. A few years back before you got introduced to our nutrition program, how were you feeling physically? And
I was drained. I kind of was burning the candle at both ends. I have a daughter who has some major special needs, some dietary issues, and not just dietary issues, some other health issues. And that's why I went back to school for nutrition. And that's when we started our farm up because I needed to be able to provide for her in everything she needed. So I dug in and started producing our own food, as well as trying to assist with our business and keep things going. And before I got started with this program, I had jumped off the tailgate of my truck and broke my back in three places. And in doing so, you end up in a brace, and you can't do anything, so you lay around because that's all you can do. They want you laying down, bed rest for 8 weeks. And I found myself praying that I could just fade away and die, just go to sleep and never wake up. I was drinking a lot. I had my kids, so they would just go get me the bottle of whiskey and bring it to me, no glass, no nothing, just go grab the bottle and set it beside mom as she laid on the couch. And said I was really at the end of what I felt at that point in time, just miserable and like, okay, I'm done. I'm useless. No purpose. And a friend of mine, Mickey Voter, had been posting online about this program, but she wasn't saying what it was, just a matter of how great she felt and how wonderful everything was. And I picked up the phone and called her, and I'm like, I don't care what you have here, I want it. And she's like, oh, well, let me tell you about it. I'm like, I don't care. Here's my credit card number, buy, order whatever I need and get it coming to me. I was that desperate that I didn't even give her the opportunity to tell me about the program. And of course, this box shows up on my doorstep and I'm opening it up. I'm like, okay, now I probably ought to call her up and see what the hell all this is. Because so she started explaining it to me and I'm like, oh, perfect. Well, I did that for a little over a year, stuck right to the program, never varied, and lost over 120, 121, 122 pounds in that year's time. I felt amazing. I was a mom again. I was living life. I was taking care of my kids, taking care of the animals. Everything was beautiful. So, like I said, that was, my first introduction to this program.
I remember that, and I had come to visit you. We're in Maine back then, and I came to visit you, and man, like I was just blown away. Like to lose 100 pounds, not many people can do that. You were able to eat regular food at home with your family, but also follow this program. And I think like what you said, like, getting off alcohol and changing your mood and your energy is amazing. So, but weight loss is a journey, right? And I know, I've struggled with my weight. I use this program, but, I still have to manage my mindset. And I know that you moved, your family had to make some life changes and you moved. And what happens when we go under stress is sometimes we give up our habits. So what happened? You guys had to move and you kind of lost your focus.
Well, about 5 years ago, we packed up and moved from Maine to Vermont, not real far, but far enough that I lost my support system. Not 100%. They were still there on Facebook and online, but we were getting together once a week, all the girls, we always saw each other, the whole group. So everybody was together and I was totally engaged. And then we moved. And when I say I live out in the middle of no man's land, I'm not kidding. I am almost an hour to go one-way trip to go to the grocery store or wherever and if you need anything. So I felt totally secluded and away from everybody. And, there's a few neighbors here and there, and you get together. And I remember the first time we got together with the neighbors, and, the gentleman next door pours me a glass of whiskey and hands it to me. And I kind of looked at him like, well, I don't really drink. And he's like, well, you live in Vermont now. He goes, you do now. He goes, 'cause that's all we do. He's like, there's nothing to do. And I'm like, oh, this is not going to go well for me. And I knew it wasn't going to go well for me, but I still fell into that social connection, I guess. However, it just,
Pressure.
yeah. So it's like, okay, that's what we do. And unfortunately, that's what I did. I knew better, but I fell back into it. I was still taking care of my daughter and doing everything she needed, but I wasn't taking care of myself. And I fell totally off the wagon, off the nutrition wagon, off the alcohol wagon, and just right back to, oh my word, my life sucks. And I, put the weight back on. I put on 80 of the 120 that I lost and just feeling miserable again. And I remember, back in July of this year, I picked up the phone and called Mickey, and I was totally hungover when I picked up the phone and called her up, and I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I need to get back on, and I need to get, and she'd been reaching out to me for over the last 5 years. She could see what was happening, but when somebody doesn't want help, or isn't there, you can't stuff it down their throat, and she did the best thing possible. She let me know she was there. She let me know she still cared, but didn't push, so I didn't, feel like I couldn't call her, which I absolutely love that woman for that. But, so she, here she was cheering, her husband's in the background cheering because, they knew I was serious, that I was coming back. And so I had been ordering right along, getting my products, but so I had a whole pantry full of stuff. I needed that connection to re-engage. And she tells me about this program called the ER Shred. She goes, have you heard of that? And I'm like, no. And she's like, well, let me tell you about it. I'm like, just put me in the group, send me the links. I said, you didn't steer me wrong the last time. You don't have to tell me. Don't, go through the whole explanation. Just put me in it. And she's like, well, okay. And I said, I'm going to jump in and do it. Well, I did my first shred the first week of August. I started on the 1st. And so for the first 11 days, I was, following their protocol between, eating the healthy lean meats and healthy fats and, doing my cleanses. And I lost 11 pounds. And of course, kind of light goes off there, going 11 pounds in 11 days. Whoa. This is, there's something with this. So I was like, well, I'm not going to stop doing this. So I continued on following the protocol. And in doing so, I've been doing it straight since August 1st. I've done one the first of every month. And sometimes I didn't even end. I just kept right on going through the whole month, following exactly the same protocol, the 5 shake days, the cleanse days, right straight through. And at this point in time, I am down 77 of the 80 that I had gained back. So I'm so close to getting back to where I was. As far as a number on the scales, I'm feeling amazing. I'm out, trying to get out and jogging. It's a little cold up here right at the moment, but I've promised my daughter that I will run a 5K with her this summer, and come hell or high water, I am going to run that 5K with her. So I just really feel like I have my life back, and this has been one of the most amazing things that I could ever tell anybody about.
I love it. And I think you said something so profound too. When you moved, you felt like you didn't have community, and the
Mhm.
social circle that you were around was a negative influence. I'm sure they're wonderful people, but the social pressure there was not really what you wanted. So that's one thing that I like about it, and I love about this nutrition program, whether you're going with our basic program or you're doing our more advanced, let's say, protocol. We call it the ER Shred, which is 11 days of all out. Um, it's the community. Talk to us a bit about the community that you have in the ER Shred.
That is, well, there's 24,000 strong at this point in time and growing daily. But that group it's amazing. If you feel like you're faltering, you're having a bad day, you put something on there, you reach out, you can send a message, private message to anybody in the group, and they're jumping to help. Whether it be a question, whether it be, something's going on, or, I don't know about the quality of this. There's just, everybody is there, and they have such heart, and wanting to give it, not just, it's not about me, it's about you. And that's the entire community. It's all about who they're talking to and who they're helping, not what it does for them, or what I got or anything like that. So it's just it's a whole different mindset. To me, it's the way the world should be. What can I do for you? How can I serve you? How can I help you? Regardless of what the problem is or the issue is. And I've even had them come up here and offer, hey, I'm only 2.5, 3 hours away from you. Do you need something? I'll drive. And it's like, oh my word, who does that? I don't even know you personally. I just know you through this group. And it's just an amazing group of people, all the way around, regardless of what's going on, they're there for you.
I love that. So if someone's a bit cautious, but maybe they're feeling unwell, they're tired, they're exhausted, they're bloated, they're struggling with their weight, what can someone expect in 11 days?
To come alive, within that first 11 days, it's like a total aha moment. You start looking, I mean, you get the education as well as, you get the product and the program for 11 days, but you also get, this is what's happening within your body. This is why this is happening, and there's a whole group of coaching and information to keep you engaged, and you're feeding your body and you're feeding your mind.
Mhm.
So it's just a total, awakening, and they've put it in such simple terms and simple setup protocols so that, as I said, it's, nutrition for dummies. You can just follow right through without feeling overwhelmed because there's so much being thrown at you, because it's just very simple.
I love it. And I think you nailed a couple points there. Number one, this is simple. It's so overwhelming online now. If you look up nutrition, should you be counting macros? Should you be on keto? Should you be low carb? Should you do Weight Watchers? So there's so much confusion. This is simple. It's like paint by numbers. You follow the program. You're only responsible for one meal a day. You're going to be doing intermittent fasting. You're going to be having low carb. You're going to have it, but it's going to be all done for you. You just show up, follow the protocol, plug into the community, and in a matter of days, you're going to come alive. I can attest to that myself personally. In my first 11 days, I remember waking up in the morning and feeling joy. And I remember thinking, I feel joyful and I haven't even really opened my eyes. What the heck is going on? That is the power of our dense superfood. That's the power of what we have. So if you guys are interested in learning more, check out Jessica, send her a message. What we'll do in this YouTube video is I'll put a link down below to her shopping cart. If you're all in and you just want to start off with our ER shred, click the link below. If you have questions, send Jessica a message and she'll help you out. You'll have the best coach in the world to get you through this. So thank you so much, Jessica.
Thank you, Erin. I really appreciate it.
All right.